Welcome to part 2 of my Skittle Sorter project. Parts of it are now operational. As expected, it's very complex and a lot of fun. Holding the parts together by hand is no longer feasible, so it's now necessary to make a stand that will form part of the final unit. An M8 bolt will be the ideal choice for holding the parts together. The stand is the right height to allow space for the motor and drive gear. The hexagonal recess for the head of the bolt is a perfect tight fit. I have decided that using a stepper motor will give the best control, so it's now necessary to design a gearing system. This ring gear has 152 teeth and will be glued to the outside of the carousel. I have chosen to use a 28BYJ48 stepper to drive the carousel, so I needed a mount that could be fitted into a pair of rails to allow the height to be adjusted. The drive gear has 80 teeth, so this will give an approximate ratio of 2:1. Hopefully, this will be able to rotate the carousel by 1 chamber per second. This will also mean that it should be able to sort an average of 1 skittle per second. Here is the base. The oval cutouts are just there to save on filament. These 4 posts are designed so the stand can be glued in place. This set of rails is designed for the stepper's mounting block to slide up and down. This post was designed to keep the drive gear pressed against the ring gear on the carousel and will act like a spring. Here is the assembled view within Tinkercad. Assembling the parts together within Tinkercad allows you to plan how the parts will work together. By the time I get around to printing and assembling, I can be confident that things will fit together the first time. Mostly. Often with a little filing. Here is the mount for the RGB sensor. Note the 2 semicircular cutouts for the LEDs. The rear support keeps the drive gear pressed against the ring gear. Here is the mounting system for the stepper, so it can be slid up and down. The rear plate sandwiches it in place when the mounting screws are tightened. This ensures the stepper's position can be adjusted, then locked in place. It may not look like much, and there's still a lot more to go, but this currently is 13 separate 3D printed parts and counting. Here are some photos of the assembly so far. The Hall effect sensor needed to be precisely aligned, then tested by rotating the carousel and confirming that every single magnet triggered it. Once tested properly, the Vero board was glued in place, then final adjustments were made by bending the wires. The mount for the RGB sensor was measured so that the board press fits in place. The LEDs are fitted to the mounting holes and lock in place perfectly. Being able to friction fit the LEDs to the holes in the RGB sensor board was a bonus because it also solved the problem of needing to block the holes to keep out ambient light and dust. The series resistors were carefully chosen to ensure that the LEDs were not bright enough to saturate the RGB sensor through experimentation. The correct resistor for 15 milliamps should have been 100 ohms, however I ended up with a 1K resistor by the time I was happy with the brightness. I'm using 2 LEDs to ensure that the light is evenly distributed, though I'm not sure if it was necessary. Here you can see the meshing of the drive gear and the ring gear. You can also see how the two mounting bolts press the motor assembly together and hold it in position securely. Here is an unusual design feature. Note that this magnet is missing. I originally put one magnet per chamber, as well as one between each chamber. This was a bad choice because it meant that there was no way to tell whether the sensor was picking up a chamber or a wall. The plan was to use the RGB sensor to detect whether it was aligned to a chamber or a wall by using the color. This was a good plan up until I discovered that the purple skittles are so close to black that it was not possible to accurately tell the difference. As the magnets are difficult to remove, I decided to remove only one. Alignment adjustments can still take place, but synchronizing the carousel can be done by rotating it whilst keeping track of the number of steps between the sync pulses. Here is the schematic. The Hall effect sensor is powered off 5 volts. No level conversion is required as the A3144 has an open collector output, so I can pull the output low but relies on external pull-up resistors to pull the output high. No pull-up resistors are being used because the ESP32 has optional pull-ups to 3.3 volts internally, which will be enabled in the code. The RGB sensor is powered off 3.3 volts. And the two LEDs are powered off the 5 volt rail. Stepper control comes from a ULN 2003 that was supplied with the stepper I used. The phase signals are sent via I2C to a PCF 8574. These are not shown in the schematic, but it is exactly the same as the design shown in my stepper controller in a dozen lines video. So let's see it in operation by testing the carousel alignment function. Watch the blue LED pulsing with the sync signals. The last will be double the length of the others. This board contains an ISL 29125 RGB light sensor. My next round of experiments involved running the carousel through cycles at the push of a button. When the skittle was centered to the test chamber, it measured the RGB values and output them via serial. I then recorded the values for about 20 of each color. What I found was that there was a lot of overlap and it was very difficult to get an exact color match. There was also a lot of variation between the readings, and after a while the stepper went haywire. The RGB sensor will not initialize anymore. It completely failed. I am now looking at whether an APDS 9960 that I have lying around for a while can be used. Although it's a gesture sensor, it can provide RGB color data. This video demonstrates the cycles. Each time I push the button, it will run through one cycle. The carousel moves briefly, then pauses several times. The first pause is at the middle point between two compartments and is for the gate positioning. The second pause is for the color check and occurs when the carousel is aligned with the chamber. As the RGB sensor failed, it can't check the skittle in the chamber at this stage. I currently have a prototype mount for the APDS 9960, which is showing very promising results. In the final product, the button will start it running and it will continuously repeat the cycle until it's stopped. It would also not need to stop for the stage where it's aligned and checking the color. This is just done for testing. Here, I am holding down the button to show it repeating the cycle. This is a bit closer to how it will work in the final version. In the next video, I will test the carousel with Skittles and make sure that it's reliable.